Plaintiff Regina Rosati says after she rented an apartment to the defendant, he was caught dancing in a schoolyard wearing nothing but a white negligee. Regina says the defendant then had an argument with his roommate in which he pulled his roommate's hair out, and she's suing both of them for rent and damaged property. Defendants Michael Koffman and his friend Todd McKever deny that Michael was dancing in a negligee and say he was actually having an asthma attack and was taken by ambulance to the hospital. They're countersuing for harassment and breach of contract.
Start with you.
Okay, Your Honor, it's really nice to see Todd and Mike looking so good today.
Okay. You want your money, or you?
Could be.
Or you want it in kind?
No.
You talking about how handsome and good they look today?
Yeah.
It's good
Well,
to
the
see
reason
them
that
today. Yeah, wasn't she looking like that? Well, here, is that your husband?
Yes, it is.
You're gonna do it in front of your husband too.
Yeah.
Go ahead. So far, all you said is these two guys are looking good, and it's good to see them. Go ahead. What else you want me to do?
The reason we're here, Your Honor, is because some information came to my attention after the two moved out of my apartment. There was an incident in my apartment building in the schoolyard across the street where Michael was dancing across the front of the elementary school building. He was doing it in a white see-through negligee, dancing and carrying on, and then when he finally finished, he came back over to the apartment and hugged some trees and hit the ground on his knees.
Where you get this from?
I have a witness statement from my mechanic lives across the street.
That's the only person that saw him is the mechanic.
Yes, and
He's in front of a school, hundreds of kids, teachers, administrators, but yet your mechanic is the only one that saw him dancing in a negligee in front of a school. What else you want me to know, ma'am?
No, he wasn't the only one. The police did come also. Yeah, there's a lot of people saw him.
Yeah, did they come to arrest him or to dance? That's the only person that saw him is the mechanic.
Yes, and
He's in front of a school, hundreds of kids, teachers, administrators, but yet your mechanic is the only one that saw him dancing in a negligee in front of a school.
Defendants Michael Koffman and his friend Todd McKever are being sued by their former landlord, who claims they destroyed the apartment during their violent arguments.
Were you doing this?
No, I was not in a negligee. Actually, my aunt passed away last year, and I was very close with her, and she had a shirt on that she wore all the time, and when she passed away, the family members actually gave me some of her things, and I was wearing it kind of in like remembrance of her. And I was not hugging trees, I was not dancing in front of a school. Where I rented the property from Miss Rosati, there was a school residence across the street, and actually I was cleaning up garbage and picking up sticks, and I take care of my front yard. Where we lived at her
When the police came, what did they say they had been told?
They had come up to me in the police and said, "Michael, are you doing okay?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm feeling fine." But I was actually having an asthma attack. I was not dancing around. I actually was in the ambulance and taken to the hospital for my asthma attack. Because they wanted to check me out because I had asthma.
Was he placed in an ambulance?
I was taken in an ambulance to Eastern Niagara Hospital in Niagara Falls, New York, Your Honor.
What else you want me to know, ma'am?
When they decided that they were going to move out, they notified me in January.
Okay, and that's the unpaid rent? How much was their rent per month?
It was $550 a month, but that's not the unpaid rent, Your Honor. The unpaid rent came for February. There had been domestic violence issues going on downstairs, and that they'd had some really, really bad fights. It was like a divorce. I got Todd's side of the story. Todd said that he was abused by Michael. He had his hair ripped out. Michael set his hair on fire. They had this horrible altercation between Christmas and New Year's, and he had to get away.
Let me hear from you, gentlemen.
First of all, I moved into the apartment in April of 2010. Todd had moved into the apartment in December of 2009. We met on the internet. We hit things off right away. I was from Derby, about an hour away from there. Miss Rosati never even had a lease at the apartment, so there was no rules. There was no, and the main reason why we mentioned her that we had to move out of the apartment was because Todd's mother was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, which she was in school with with Joanne McKever, which was Todd's mother, and she was like my mother too.
So about this fighting,
we
you
were not
never
having
told her that?
No, we were not.
She's making this up.
She's not making this up.
Well then, where'd she get it? You told her.
I never told her we were fighting.
Well,
I just
how
said
did she find out?
we were having complications. Well, I believe that she heard it from the roommates upstairs.
All right.
Because we were friends with the roommates upstairs.
Okay, I mean, that's not the issue today. The issue is, did you give a proper notice? And if you did not give proper notice, you would owe for that month's rent.
But, Your Honor, we were out of the apartment before February 1st. We were totally out of there.
When did you leave?
I left probably the last week in January of this year.
When did you give 30-day notice?
In January.
January 6th.
All right, so...
January 6th.
All right, so you would owe because you left prior to 30 days.
But she was showing the people the apartment in
I understand, but
January.
You still
she knew we were leaving.
Sir, you had to tell her on January 1st that we're moving on February 1st in order for you to be within the law.
Okay.
And you didn't. So you owe for February. And that would be $550 if that's your rent. Now, what damaged property are you suing for?
They did a lot of damage, Your Honor. 4 doors, drywall, paint, kitchen sink needed repair.
How'd you say y'all wasn't fighting?
Yeah.
How do you mess up 4 doors, the kitchen
Judge
sink?
Mathis, we have pictures from when we lived in the apartment, and there was already like damages to the walls because the building was just old.
You have it?
I have them
Let's see
right here.
the damages.
There is pictures in here to show, like this was my bedroom when we moved in there. There is plaster on the wall. The room was never even repainted. I had outdoor
see any
carpet.
damage. You're right. It's plastered and it looks fine.
Yeah, and Your Honor, we had a hole in our ceiling last year.
Yeah, I don't see any of that. You said you were showing me the way it was already damaged.
No, I have more pictures to show you.
You showed me what it did.
I have more to show you.
Why you showed me something there's nothing wrong?
Your Honor,
I was just showing that the patches that were
first of all,
there.
I'd like to show the bathroom artwork that these gentlemen gave us. This might help to clarify the running in the schoolyard issues. That's the bathroom.
What else?
With this is the hole in the only door I found, which was in the backyard. You can put your leg through it.
Now, do you have the list of damages and the amount?
Yes, I do.
That
My husband's going to
corresponds?
go over that with you because he's more familiar with that. He's in.
Now,
Yeah.
what is this you're showing me? Give that back to her, please.
This is electrical wires that were pulled out of the floor of the room.
That were
in
like
the
that when
front.
we moved in.
This was not like this when they moved in. My daughter, my
doesn't
new
look like
grandson,
anything that was pulled
and my
out.
son-in-law
Let me
lived
see
there.
it.
I
That
did not
doesn't
have
look
the
pulled out.
apartment
That
living
doesn't
like
look
that.
pulled out, ma'am. That doesn't look pulled out.
Your Honor.
Nope. Nope. Don't believe him. I'm with them on that. Now, what damaged property are you suing for?
4 doors, drywall, paint, kitchen sink needed repair.
How'd you say y'all wasn't fighting?
Yeah.
How do you mess up 4 doors, the kitchen
Judge
sink?
Mathis,
Defendants Michael Koffman and his friend Todd McKever are being sued by their former landlord, who claims they destroyed the apartment during their violent arguments.
How did she harass you guys?
She was making phone calls explaining to me that she wanted the kitchen redone, and she had threatened to me to tell me, well, I have a surprise for you and Todd that I'm taking you guys to court. And
That's
I
a
said,
promise.
And she
kept it.
And I told her, I said, Regina, I said, let's be adults about this. I said, Todd and I work
Adults and
together.
pair. So I'm going to go with all the other things I did see.
Okay.
And that is 4 doors, drywall and paint, sink repair, rug repair, and trash removal. All that's 1336 minus 350.
986.
986 is what I'm going to conclude the property damage is, and 550 for the rent is a total of what?
1536.
$1,536 is your judgment. Have a good day. Yours is dismissed.
I'm just glad that the judge saw it the way it was. There was really more damages that we could have asked for, but we didn't.
I'm glad they got what they had.
Glad they got what they deserve. There you go. Congratulations. That's fine.